Here we go. This is the January edition of our faculty meeting. You guys will be happy to know this is the second time I've recorded this because the first time the microphone wasn't plugged in. Yeehaw. Okay, CCI. Some classrooms definitely need to refocus on their CCI cycles. I know as I've been doing walkthroughs, there are some boards that are very out of date. Hopefully it's just the board that's out of date and you're still doing it in your classrooms. The pre and post tests, of course, are an expectation for everyone. And hopefully you're doing that as well. It definitely helps guide your teaching and where kids need to be, and you're not spending time on things that kids already know. Also, student folders need to be active in all your classes, unless you're just a brand new teacher. And this is a great time to get those back and going when you're doing middle of the year testing, because beginning of the year testing information should all be in those student folders. So the majority of you guys do a great job with that. So those of you that have kind of taken a vacation, please get going on that again. It needs to happen. Safety and security, school safety. We focused on this again in our all principals meeting yesterday. I just wanted to hit a few things that they covered with us. All classroom doors should be locked. So if you're one of those teachers currently that keeps your door shut, but it's not locked because you don't want to have somebody get up and let kids in when they come and go, we really need to have that door locked. You can leave your door open. As long as it's locked, it's a lot easier just to close the door than it is to try and find the key that you need and then lock the outside of the door and then shut it. It just takes so much more time. So please keep your doors locked. If you don't have a system in your room for having a student open it or when someone knocks or whatever, if you need to talk to me about it, I'm happy to talk to you about it, but please keep those doors locked. Also, please be sure if you see anybody walk in the halls, I know you guys do this, but ask them very politely if they've checked in at the office. Very seldom does anybody get past us down here on this main level of the 8th grade, but I know that if on the second floor you saw somebody that didn't belong, you guys would ask. So please just remember to do that. Also, in your teams, talk about what classroom you might want to focus this on so kids don't hear it all day and get scared. But remind students that they are not to let anyone in an exterior door. That's kind of what happened at Sunshine when that lady came in and stole the lady's purse and went and charged a whole bunch of stuff. So not that lady wouldn't have come in anyway and come in the front door. I mean, really, she acted like she belonged there. People didn't talk to her. They thought that she did belong there. So even if they look like they know what they're doing, please be sure and ask them if they belong here, and remind students never to let anyone in an exterior door. We're also getting bids and information to address our front entry. As you know, it's a blind entry. Nobody's there monitoring our front door that we leave open throughout the day. We're looking at a buzz-in system. You guys probably know this about me. If you've been here very long, I'm kind of a miser, and I try and save money when I can. And then every summer, if we have the money left, I try and buy classroom furniture for you all. In the past 2 summers, I've been able to do that, and I always try and barter with the board building. If I have enough money for one classroom, can you then get me a second classroom? And they usually do match it for me. But in this case, just from conversations I've had with you guys as staff members and parents, front entry, that's a much more important thing for us right now. So we're looking into that. So it'll definitely bump up our safety here in the building if we can do that. So more on that as we get bids and figure out how much that's going to cost. We talked about MSIP 5 yesterday in principals meeting. The science test is now awaited, as just like language arts and math, on our AYP type stuff. So that's just an informational item for everyone. The Smarter Balance Consortium that we are a member of, that's what we're going to go to after MAP, related to the Common Core. Missouri is a member of Smarter Balance. We can volunteer to pilot part of that test or a piece of it, or with one of your classes. So in language arts or math or science, if you're interested in that, please let me know. There's a deadline. We can talk about it more at our staff meeting on Tuesday, but I wanted to throw it out there so you can kind of roll it around in your head. The benefits to doing it, as a teacher, you would get to see the test. Whether you're supposed to or not, I really don't care, but at least you could see what was on it. You will not get results from your students, and you kind of had to follow their guidelines of giving it, but I don't think you have to give it to everybody. If you volunteer, you could pick a class. to give the test to, because I know we're just totally over-tested in the spring. But I wanted to throw it out there in case a teacher did want to try it with one of their classes or all of their classes. So think about it and let me know on Tuesday. Title I information, your feedback on how to spend those funds that we took last time. Dana Peterson compiled it all and she sent it back out to you guys. We're kind of waiting. I'm still waiting for the bid on laptops, another laptop cart. I know I shared with you guys last time I'd like to kind of tear up that 8th grade lab, get them in a second rolling lab instead of that lab that they currently have, because it really hasn't worked very well since we put it in. But our money is going to be kind of dependent, because that's a pricey item. So we're going to try and see what we can do there. And then I'll let you know kind of what things we can fund and what things we can't based on that information when I get it. We're going to be having a parent involvement PTSA breakfast coming up on Thursday the 31st from 7 to 7:30 in the cafeteria. We're kind of making it like wake up and smell the coffee. We usually have really good attendance at that, and so we're hoping we can get people in. Auburn and Braden Russell's mom is spearheading the PTSA part of that, and I know that she would appreciate you guys coming. It's going to be catered. It's no cost to anybody because we have so much parent involvement money. It's going to be catered by the Cedars. It's going to be good old-fashioned biscuits and gravy and 2 kinds of meat, probably like sausage and bacon, and 2 different kinds of scrambled eggs and fruit and coffee and orange juice. It makes me hungry just saying it, and it's 4:30 in the afternoon. So if you, we're going to RSVP with Janet, so please do that whenever we get that information out to you all. But I wanted to let you know in plenty of time so you can put on your calendars to be here early that morning. It would just be fantastic to have lots of teachers there if you possibly can. And I know a lot of you have child duties and all those things that you have to drop off at sitters, and it's difficult for you to make things like that. But if you can at all, make plans to be there that morning. That would be great, because it's really not going to last long, and it should be a good breakfast. A little discipline information to close out this part of our staff meeting. I ran this, and I have to tell you, I was pretty encouraged. I was looking at data from last year of our students that we had last year and we have again this year in both 7th and 8th grade. So this graph is our current 7th graders that we had as 6th graders, not move-ins, but the ones that we had as 6th graders with us last year. And I ran it for the number of discipline incidents that they had last year compared to this year at semester. So, and I cut it off at all this 25, and up my narrative at the top is incorrect with 24, but it's 25 students had 2 or more discipline incidents last year. And if you look, the light blue lines are last year and the dark blue are this year. So 12 of these 25 students with 2 or more discipline incidents in 2012 have fewer incidents this year. I think that's very encouraging. 8 of the 24 have more than they had last year, which is not so encouraging, but if you saw the names, I don't think you'd be surprised. And then 4 of the 24, 25 students just kind of remain the same. So this is all comparable data for us. That is very encouraging. I mean, just 25 students had 2 or more discipline incidents. I know we kind of get caught up that we have a lot of it going on here, but definitely have some. I mean, look at this one, 16 discipline incidents that one student had last year. That's a lot of stuff going on. And here's our 8th grade information. Same information. These are kids that we had as 7th graders that are now 8th graders. 16 of the 23 had, that had 2 or more things last year, have fewer this year. And if you look, we have several down here that don't have any this year at all. And since, I mean, this one had 3 last year and don't have any. I mean, this kid had 6 last year and just has 1 this year. So those are definitely going in the right direction. 6 of them, the 23 have more, and just 1 remained the same. So I was looking, it's hard to measure preventative things that you do in the building. So in terms of counseling, in terms of our social emotional school-wide CCI, those are really hard things to measure because it's all preventative. But I do think we're going in the right direction. I find this information very encouraging. and I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it is good news and you guys need to know. This is all I think that I have for today. I mean, we'll have some more stuff to do on Tuesday, but this is the bulk of it. I got it done in just about less than 10 minutes. So I hope everybody had time to watch and reflect, and we will look at this a little bit more maybe on Tuesday and address some other things, but hopefully our staff meeting won't be too long. See you later.